There's a good one, real long. Fish. There we go. Feels good. Almost certainly has to be a good one with this lure. And it's not the biggest swim baits, you know, but swim baits get big fish. It feels heavy too. Come on, buddy, don't jump. There we go. We hooked him sideways. He felt a lot bigger than he really was. But he is hooked in the mouth too. That's a nice 2-pounder. Not 2 pounds by much, but you know what? I'm gonna have to tripod that guy. Because with the fishing being this slow, you know, we're constantly going in and out of flood, heat wave, you know, drought this summer. It's been brutal. I know everyone's talking about how tough the fishing's been. Texas was hit harder than most, though. Nice little 2-pounder. He's actually kind of fat. Probably borderline 2 pounds. That's a good sign, though, that he's not super skinny. Lately, they've all been super skinny. I'm gonna weigh him just to back up what I've been saying about him being 2 pounds, maybe borderline. Yep, 207. He's actually a little heavier than I thought. I thought he might be about 1 3/4. All right, bud. Thanks for playing. Actually kind of deep there. About a foot or two deep right there. That was a terrible cast on drop shot. But I feel like this little drop shot bait has a good chance of getting a sand bass or a crappie. And it has just as good a chance, if not better, getting a bass, a largemouth. Whereas that bluegill swim bait almost certainly cannot get me a crappie or a sand bass. One thing I like about drop shot is it's a very light wire hook. So assuming you didn't catch like a little crappie or something, there's a fish. You gotta finesse them usually. And that's a crappie. What do you know? And he's not little. You gotta be careful with these guys. They will fin the hell out of you. He T-boned that dude. Little black crappie. You know, there's so many black and white crappie in here. I'm surprised I never catch any hybrids. That's a nice crappie. Probably about 1/2 pound to 3/4 pound. There's a school of bait fish right there, little bitty bait fish. And I'm sure that's why that crappie was hanging out right underneath them. They know what they're doing. Catching that little crappie is the single best sign I could have had that the fall transition is upon us. Because you literally, there are probably as many crappie in here as bass. I mean, it is just a crappie factory. And you literally will not catch a crappie here like June, July, August, most of September. I don't know where they go, but I just know that you don't catch them here. And once they start showing up, it means that the bass are going to start biting. There's a bite, very next cast. Oh. It's a little largemouth. Come on, buddy. Don't put a hook in my hand. All right, that's 2 for the drop shot on 2 casts. A lot of these largemouth here have this turquoise spot. I wonder why. Even the bigger ones. If any of you guys know what that turquoise spot is about, let me know. Because, I mean, I've even caught like 4.5 pounders here that had it. There's a fish. That's 3 out of 4 casts. That looks like a crappie too. That's a big ass crappie. Wow. Wow, he's thick. My God, he's thick. He's not a whole lot bigger than the other one, size-wise, length-wise, but look at that. He's 2 inches across the back. That is a pretty crappie. Look how thick he is. He's been working out. They seem to be all over the drop shot, so I'm going to make a few casts out this way. Sorry about the noise. That's city life for you. There's a bite. That was a big thump. Wish that big thumper had committed. May have spoke too soon. There's one. That's our biggest fish yet. On the drop shot anyway. I had to loosen my drag for him. He may not even be 2 pounds, but compared to those crappie and that little dink bass, he's big enough to have to actually fight him. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to get him to come my way, and he is just not having it. He might be pretty big. He might be our biggest of the day. We definitely want to get him in. Look at that. He just took off with 10 feet of line. There's a swirl out there. Try lifting his head up. It's just not happening. There's another big swirl. Always so hard to tell with these fish how big they really are on drop shot. That's a nice fish though. I'm thinking definitely bigger than our first one of the day. He is not giving up either. Oh yeah, he's got a big head. If he's healthy, he's our biggest of the day. Please be healthy. It's looking good. Oh yeah, he's fat and healthy. That's a toad. The hook literally fell out. Wow. That guy's over 3 pounds. Let's weigh him and then get a close-up of him. 293, we sure about that? Yep, 293, okay. Almost a 3-pounder, but look at the gut on that fish. That nice morning golden hour. The fish has been feeding pretty well. She's thick, very thick. There we go. That's pretty small, I think. It's not. Is it? Yeah, it's tiny. Okay. It is tiny. It's number 6 on the day, though. I'm glad I came back over here with a drop shot. Little dink. Alright, I'm going to do the opposite of what you should do in a time like this. I'm going to go from a slow presentation that was working for me to a little bit, well, a lot faster one and throw a blade bait. Literally the exact opposite presentation. It's still a bait fish. It's still going to look like a bait fish, but it's just a fast moving one. There's a first cast. Are you kidding me? Wow. We barely got that guy too. Barely. First freaking cast, man. I think I caught 30 here one day on this thing. There's second cast. Wow. Size has gone down, but it's still fun. There are just all these fish sitting there that just would not eat the drop shot. Little bitty guy, born this year. There's a third fish. Are you kidding me? That one's better too. Still small, but better. That's on 4 casts. He's our only skinny one of the day. I know a lot of people would actually prefer this, you know. That's a good one. There we go. Please be hooked well. Some people prefer quantity over quality. Oh, did we just foul hook him? No, he's better. He's barely hooked. He's barely hooked. There we go. It's our third biggest of the day. That guy is probably 1.75 pounds. My hands finally stopped shaking. He's pretty fat. You know what? I think I'm going to tripod him. I thought about it. I hesitated, but I think I'm going to do it. Sort of limited room here. All right, here he goes. Probably could have weighed him too. I bet he was 1.5 pounds. There's a fish. Wow. That's another decent fish, unless he's foul hooked. That might be bigger than the last. Loosen up my drag a little bit. Oh wow, that's a good fish. That's our third biggest for sure, maybe second. I think he ate it pretty well too. Knock on wood. You guys at home, knock on wood. Oh my God. That might be our biggest of the day. He did eat it pretty well. He ate it sideways. Look at that. That guy's a little bit skinny, but man, compared to where they were a month or two ago, I'd say the fish recovered. You know you're having a good day when you've tripoded 4 fish. This is probably the skinniest of the big ones. Just feels like I'm super close to the tripod. I hope these are turning out all right. All right, we're gonna weigh this guy. I'm gonna say 2¾ pounds, just because he's not as fat as that one that was almost 3. $264. I almost nailed it by like an ounce or 2. All right, buddy. And this really tannic water, man, gold works a lot. Oh, there was a big hit. He missed it. Oh, he got it. Oh my God, that's a giant. That's a giant fish. If he's healthy, he's a monster. Loosening my drag again. This is really big. We could be talking like 5 or 6 pounds. Based on the wake, it looked like a freaking jet boat coming at the bait. He swiped at it and missed it. He swiped it and missed it and then came back for it. This is a giant. This could be a catfish. Oh my God, man, this is a two-hander. Yeah, I think it's a catfish. If it is a bass, I hope he doesn't jump. But the fact that he hasn't jumped makes me think it's a catfish, or maybe I snagged a carp, I don't know. Actually, the way he crushed it, he definitely went after it. So some sort of predator. I think we can rule out carp. I'm really leaning towards catfish. That's a catfish, sure enough. It's not even that big. It's amazing how these things fight. Oh, is he foul hooked? He's foul hooked. He's skinny, man. He's really skinny. I'm gonna need the pliers for him. He actually almost got it in the mouth. Hang on, bud. There we go. All right, I'm just gonna let him do his thing. That's about a 3.5 pound catfish. There he goes. Okay, so some of you might have noticed that as soon as I realized that was a catfish, I more or less manhandled him and just reeled him in, and that's because I don't think I've ever lost in my entire life a catfish. They just have such a meaty mouth, they tend to not come off. And my hooks are tangled. So this is a wasted cast, but yeah, I mean, I may have lost one or two. It would have been when I was like maybe 8 years old. Seriously, it's been forever. Oh my God. He just hit that with the freaking hooks tangled. That's a bass too, and he's huge. I don't know how well he's hooked though with the line being tangled around one of the hooks. Oh man. Oh baby. Look at that. The hook is still tangled too. He was never coming off. Oh my God. That might be a 3.5 pounder. I can't believe that the freaking hooks were tangled. So it was more or less just like jigging a spoon. This fish is obese. Let's weigh him and get a tripod of him. He could not be any thicker across the back either. What? It showed 3. 295. Okay. Whatever, man. It's been a while, guys. Hey, it's been a while since I got good fish like this. Kind of awkward being all this vine stuff was not here earlier in the year. Look at that. really want this one to turn out good. This is our biggest of the day by point two. Even if it didn't turn out good, kiss the camera, buddy. I think that's at least our 10th or 11th fish. Thank God I switched to the blade bait, man. That's a dink. Haven't lost one yet today either, knock on wood. Maybe I should get out of here after having said that, but because now I certainly will. But a lot of people feel that way about a blade bait, that it can only be thrown in deep water because it sinks like a rock, but it's more or less, honestly, just a lipless crankbait. It vibrates so much side to side that it's really not gonna sink as much as you think. I mean, it feels like a freaking chatterbait. 6 cents makes a good one. Not the best hooks because they're curved inward so much, but definitely the best blade bait. Oh, oh wow, strong fish. Not even that big. Not tiny, but not giant. Got a plastic bag with him too. Good old plastic. Look at that. About 1.25 pounds maybe. And there's a fish. That fall bite is here. He came off, I think. No, he didn't. Oh my God, what? There's no way. That didn't feel like a big fish, and now it does. That's a giant fish all of a sudden. What was that? I wonder if I had a bluegill fouled or snagged, and then something tried to eat the bluegill off my hook. What in the world? Oh, it's another foul hooked fish. I'm not sure what, maybe a carp. Nope, catfish again. Or is he foul hooked? And that one's a lot healthier. No, he's hooked in the mouth. Wow. No, he's hooked in the eye, unfortunately. We can't save his eye, I don't think. Poor guy. Catfish don't really need eyes though. They feed based on their little whiskers and smell, so I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm disappointed that we hooked him in the eye, but I'm getting excited for the winter, man. There's some ponds around here that you pretty much can only fish in the winter time because the vegetation is so bad, you know. I'm talking about like hydrilla and stuff. In about 2 months I should be able to fish a bunch of them. Oh, there was a bite. I'm sure you guys probably saw that. Something just came up and ate it, but he was tiny. About the same size as my swim bait. Not sure what he was thinking. Alright, you guys. What we get, like 13, 14 fish in an hour and a half? Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.